I'm Tiffany Young with IdeateTV, and I'm here with Jeff Russo. He has many projects as a music composer that I can't even begin to list. So can you tell us a few projects that people would recognize?
Well, we just wrapped Legion, and that we just actually aired our finale episode for this season. And I'm currently working on Fargo season 3, which is as fun as it's ever been. And I've got some upcoming stuff. Got a couple of movies coming out this year. One's called The Three Christs of Ypsilanti. And I'm currently working on a movie with Chloe Sevigny and Kristen Stewart called Lizzie, which is about the Lizzie Borden murders of 1892, I think is somewhere around then. Yeah.
Interesting. So how did you get into music? Did you start playing an instrument at an early age?
Well, when I was a kid, in high school, before high school, I started playing drums and got into a band, high school band, playing, doing the thing in high school. And then what I realized was the guitar player was getting all the girls. So I said, I got to do that. I got to be a guitar player. So I picked up the guitar and started playing guitar, and then started another band, this time with me playing guitar. And
did you get any girls?
I did. It worked. It worked, I swear. Yeah. So after that, I just did the whole band thing for a while, and I was in a band, and I still am in a band, but that's been my whole career up until transitioning to doing movies and television.
What was that transition like?
It's an interesting thing. Like, it's just a totally different world. I mean, I still get to sit and write music all day, but I don't get to get on stage and play in front of fans who are yelling and screaming at me. So there's a bit of a different sort of ego stroke thing that doesn't quite happen in the same way, but it's a different it works a different muscle. It's just a completely different artistic muscle. Yeah.
Do you have any musical mentors or teachers that you can recall that sort of directed your path?
Well, it's interesting. No. The answer to that question is no. I didn't really have I taught myself. I'm self-taught musician. So I had my Uncle Mike played piano, and he sort of taught me how to play chopsticks, and that was about it. That was that was about it. My family wasn't terribly musical. And I think that my teachers were Led Zeppelin records and Pink Floyd records and Beatles records and these records and the Rolling Stones and these great rock albums that I would sit and pore over, just meticulously listen to every part and try to figure out how to play each part, drums and guitars and bass and stuff like that. So I think those were my teachers. Those were like my mentors.
I'm just curious, what is it like being a composer, just developing these ideas? Because I play the piano, but to write music, I could just never fathom. I can play what I'm told to play, but how does that happen?
I don't know. I mean, I can sit down at a piano and it starts with a melody, da, 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 and then
just like it and you just play it?
That sounds nice. How do I now what do I do? Where do I fit a chord around it? And then maybe that's played on the violin, or maybe I'm just strumming a guitar. Right. And then it just sort of builds from there, I think
you made it sound really easy.
Well, it is. For me, it's easy. And the job of being a composer is not easy, but that initial idea, and that's where it always stems from. It stems from one initial idea. And that initial idea is easy because it just comes or it doesn't, right? So you can't force an idea. So you just sit and it does sound easy, doesn't it? It's not easy. Yeah.
You were born to do it, that's why.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it seems natural to me. So when I sit down at a piano and I have to write something, or I sit down with my guitar and I have to write something comes out. It's not always good, but something comes out. So the act of something coming out is easy because it just happens. There's nothing I can do about it. It either does or it doesn't come out. But making that into a score, that's the job. That's where the craft comes in. And, okay, so now we're going to put it on the orchestra, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and maybe there's a drum thing here, and how do I make it work with this thing moving around over here? So that's where it becomes more complicated.
Interesting. So working in TV, film, and then you said you're still with the band. Yeah. What would you say are the upsides to, because they're so different?
Well, I say that I get to work different muscles, you know. So I spent the first 20 years of my professional life like with a guitar on stage singing songs that we wrote and having fun, and that's great. Now I have to sort of use different muscles to orchestrate a song or a piece of music and make it work for a certain narrative piece, or does it work with this guy coming in through the door here, or they're in love, how is that supposed to sound, or this person is about to murder somebody, how is that supposed to sound? So it's just a totally different muscle. So it's very thrilling for me to do that.
I'm curious, as an artist, do you watch the films and the TV shows that your music is in?
Not always. You mean the finished product when it's on the air, or when movies,
Yeah.
you know, I'll go to premieres or whatever, but I've seen it enough times, a lot of times. I mean, occasionally, like I've been watching Legion, because the one thing that we don't really get is I don't get to see finished VFX, the visual effects. I don't usually get to see that because that's usually done last. So I'm watching just to see how it's going to end up looking. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I have one last question for you. So I'm going to make it a fun one since we're at Wondercon. If you could choose any superpower, what would it be and why?
Wow. Well, it would be to clone myself, because I can't work on too many things at once, and I can't be in too many places at once, and I would like to be able to be in more places than one.
You would like there to be more of you.
Yeah, I would like there to be more of me, yeah.
Wow, I've never had that answer before. That's very interesting.
There you go.
I wonder if that's possible.
It's probably not.
Probably not yet.
Not yet.
It's kind of scary to
Right.
think that, but yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Tiffany Young for IdeateTV.